Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta, episode 90.
9-0.
Big fat 90.
Yeah. Your
So,
age.
we got some notes today
Yeah,
that
man.
we're going to talk about.
Honestly, buckle in, team, because there's a lot. There's a lot on this one. I don't know if you saw the schedule. There's a lot.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
We can hit it up, man. You want to just jump straight into it?
Yeah,
How have you been? How's your week?
No, fuck you. We don't have any time to wait.
No time? Okay, let's do it.
But yeah. So last week, we mixed it up, right?
Okay.
And I asked like a multi-phased question. Did you fill out the poll, P?
I did fill out the poll, yes.
Thank you for charging me
You're
money.
welcome.
You guys got us $100, by the way.
As soon as I knew it was going to cost you money, I was like, listen, I'm not going to lie. I got a VPN, man. I filled it out 17 times.
Oh, phew. Yeah, today at 3 o'clock, I was like, oh, well, time to pay this survey bill. $100.
How much did it cost?
It was $100. If it's saying 100,000, it was $100, but still.
Okay.
I even emailed them. I was like, because it's like $100 for a month, right? And you can cancel anytime. So like, I'm like, can I just charge you? Like, can you charge me like one fee of like $50, $25 something?
Yeah.
And there's like, they just like gave me a blatant like, same response that they probably give everybody. It's like, you can cancel it at any time, but yeah. So anyways, the survey.
Let's see this $100 question.
$100 question.
$100 question.
Oh, that's you.
Oh,
okay.
That's me.
Yep. Here we go. So question 1 was, how many hours total have you played Diablo 3? Okay. And we have 807 votes.
Okay.
And so under 10 hours was 4 votes. So 0.5% of the vote. 10 to 50 hours was 0.74% of the vote. 50 to 100 was 2.97% of the vote. 100 to 500 was 15% of the vote. 500 to 1,000 was 25% of the vote. And then 1,000 plus hours was 55% of the vote. So a lot of diehard Diablo fans are searching for Diablo information and following the podcast. And
I would think that that's just because of the audience, right?
True. Yeah.
Diablo streamer, Diablo content creator posts a poll.
Yeah.
His audience is hardcore players.
To be fair,
it makes sense.
I literally posted this fucking everywhere on the internet.
Yeah.
So I posted Reddit, I posted to both our channels, Discord, I posted to, Riker, to Bloodshed, to like literally everyone on Twitch. And then I went to like find other avenues. Like I was on the Diablo 3 forums. I was like anywhere you could find Diablo information, I put the survey there. So it's like, I was trying, I'm not trying to like,
retweeted it.
Right. And then like, like immediately when I created the survey, there's a lot of people who are like, well, you're going to get the results you want, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it's not, the purpose of this survey is not to be like a gotcha Blizzard, right? It's just to be like, I'm genuinely curious, like of all of us, and based on the Diablo 4 information that we got, what's the facts? What facts could they possibly be going off of here, right? And this is only a survey of 1,000 people, so it's not like, ooh, this is the definitive answer, but
1,000 people is still a nice sample size, though. That's not nothing. That's a decent sample size,
right?
So,
and so the question 2, what is your preferred platform? And so we got 2.48% for Nintendo Switch, 4.71% for PlayStation, 2.73% for Xbox, and 90% PC.
Yeah.
Which, for us is no surprise, but
that's interesting. And I wonder how that metric compares to concurrent player base, because Blizzard for sure can track that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that would be interesting to see comparatively to their results, because I got the impression from at BlizzCon talking to devs that it was not that it was almost inverse of that. You know what I mean? Like console had a huge portion of audience.
Right.
So,
yeah. And again, I'm sure, like we said last week, that I'm sure they have numbers. It's like, wow, we sold a fuck ton of copies on console. I'm just not sure. One, and I thought about it even more after we talked last week, but one, like, okay, does that really translate to microtransactions, console versus PC? And two, because you are making this game like literally like rated fucking R, like double XR, right? Like all the blood, gory as fuck, dark shit. Like how much of that translates to the console base? Is the console
Yeah,
base predominantly young
I think
kids?
console base has lots of gore and blood. It's the Switch that doesn't. And I don't think Diablo 4 is coming to Switch. I haven't heard anything. They specifically have said console in the past. And for some reason, I want to think that PlayStation and Xbox were mentioned at BlizzCon, like in some of the Q&As we did. But I mean, I would be super surprised if it hits Switch, at least out of the gate,
Right.
But as far as gore, I mean, PlayStation and Xbox both have GTA.
Sure.
Like that's about as bad as it gets, really.
Yeah, I mean, Mortal Kombat was originally a console
exactly.
game.
So, but I do agree that the target audience is going to be adults at this point for sure. They're not,
Right.
they're not Fortniting it up with the kiddos.
Yeah.
So,
And so my argument would be, okay, well, if we're thinking about our demographic as far as age is concerned, shouldn't we be focusing probably more on if our demographic is like age 25 to 45? Like, what platform are they playing on? And that's probably where we should like derive most of our information, because like those are going to be the people playing our game. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of console players out there, though.
Absolutely.
I would say there's probably more console players than PC, just in my experience from everybody that I know. Like everybody I know has a PlayStation or Xbox. You got one of the two.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But not everybody has a gaming PC. Everybody wants one, seemingly, but be like, oh, I can't afford it.
Sure.
It's kind of like the thing. So
totally.
Yeah. Okay.
And so that's question 2. And we lost one voter. He was like, I filled out question 1, but question 2 was too much for me. Question 3, we lost 7 voters.
Okay.
How many hours of couch co-op have you played?
They just got so mad at the question. They were like, F the survey, click.
So under 10 hours was 15% of the vote. On 10 to 50 hours was 8.75% of the vote. 50 to 100 hours was roughly 5% of the vote. 100 hours to 500 hours to 5% of the vote. 500 plus was 3% of the vote. And then never was 61% of the vote. So honestly, I was surprised really by how many hours some people had spent. Like I kind of expected the 500 plus to be like 1%. So it was interesting to even get 27 votes on that. Unless it was like all Blizzard employees, but
yeah, that's not super surprising to me. I mean, it represents a little bit. You had some console players. Console players are probably more likely to do it, but 61% of your audience has never tried a game mode that's being developed. And I don't know, man. Does this go back to is there more to the poll? Like let's finish this first, and then
sure.
We got so much to digest.
Yeah, we do. And then final question was, how important is couch co-op to you in Diablo 4? And 5% of the vote said mandatory. 10% of the vote said important. 30% said not important. And 54% said zero interest.
So I mean, what's the yellow one? Important or not?
Not important. Yeah.
So what's the 0 and not important added up? I can't see the percentages.
It's 85%.
85%. Don't care. It's a small audience, man. That was the final question, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So the things that I see from this are just like the POE thing we watched, where they develop the hardcore content for less than 10% or 1% of the player base, because it's like a carrot on a stick for players to achieve and to something to strive for and a goal. You think this falls into somewhat of the same category, even though we know that 85% of our player base isn't going to do this? It's the option that's there that entices them to look at the game and be like, oh, that's cool. I could play it with my kids, or I could play it with my buddies, even though they may never do it.
Sure. But then again, it's like, oh, I can play with my kid. Are you going to play Diablo 4 with your kids? Are you a bad parent? Like, that is gory as shit. What the fuck are you doing?
I'm a bad parent. Yeah, I would play all day. I don't care. I just, Like,
don't
I
know.
think as long as you parent your
I guess,
kids,
yeah, I guess
and
it's better if you're there than if you're
as
not.
long as they understand, like, this is a video game, it's
Sure.
not real life, then it's okay. Like, I play GTA with my kids. Like, there are some things in GTA that I avoid because I know, like, okay, you know, I know what happens in the strip club in GTA. We
Yeah.
don't go in there.
Right.
But yeah, we run around and
But
carjack.
you're a
people
hip gaming parent. Like, what if you're like a soccer mom and your kid's like, mommy, I want Diablo
Absolutely
4.
not. There's
And
no
then they
fucking
walk
way.
in and like Lilith comes out
Listen.
and she's got her blood boobs out. And
in college, my freshman year of college, I met a roommate, and we were both geeking out about Diablo 2, right? He literally had a copy and hid it from his parents because his dad would not let him play Diablo 2
damn.
because it had the name Diablo in it.
Oh my God.
Like, he couldn't own it, he couldn't play it, he couldn't do anything because it had the word Diablo in it. And like, his parents were cool. Like, I met them. Like, they weren't like weird parents. It was just like anti-Christian, I guess, in their eyes. And they were like, you are not playing that game. He could play anything else, but he couldn't play Diablo.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, damn. So the reason I found that out is one day we're chilling and his parents were coming up, and he's like, oh shit. Like, his dad called him or whatever. He's like, we're gonna be on our way. And he's like, they're almost there. He's like, oh shit. Get that Diablo box. Get the Diablo box. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, throw it under your bed. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? He's like, my dad sees that, he's gonna freak out, man. Just throw it under your bed. I'll explain later. And so that was like a whole deal, man. It was a thing. So are soccer moms going to let their kids play gory games? Probably not, which is fine if they don't understand and can't educate and play them with them and
Sure.
make sure their kids can handle it and things like that. You know?
Yeah. Wild.
I don't know, man. You think they should target 25 or older? I think 18
tend
is the
to think
demographic.
so. You know, I did some of my own research as well. I'm generally intrigued by this. It's not me pretending to know more than, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm really just curious. Like, and they don't share a lot of numbers with us, obviously, probably for good reason. But you know, I looked in, and I'm not sure if I'm sure you have, but like, I analyzed my YouTube statistics like this week, right?
Yeah.
And it's like literally 90% of people that visit my channel, which is mostly the Diablo channel, it's like, I mean, 25 to 45 dudes. Yeah. All dudes.
Yeah. That's what mine is. I think mine was the same. Mine's like 99.99% male.
Yeah.
And it's like guys that were like 30 to 40 or something like that. It's like, that's the audience that watches the videos. It's generally the same age demographic that I'm in. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's because we're into that game because that's our demographic, or if it's because they're only watching YouTubers that are closer to their age as well. But it could be like, you know, there could be 18 to 20-year-olds that are into Diablo, but they like to watch 18 to 20-year-old YouTubers or content creators. You know, I don't know, but it's definitely, I have the same statistics as you.
Right.
So,
and I would bet, you know, the people that are bigger than us, that like Quinn or Riker on YouTube, especially, like I would bet that they have a pretty similar audience demographic. But
I would think so. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see, you know?
So yeah, I mean, if you're asking me, like, who should you focus? I mean, I'm always going to say you should focus on your core fan base first, and then make, you know, A or B, make the best game possible. And then, you know, that's all you should really worry about. You shouldn't really be worrying about, will this be like the best console experience you've ever had? Just make the best game you can. And then at the end, think about like, oh, how's this going to play on a console?
I would really hope their focus is PC first. And then I would hope that as they're developing PC, they're like, hey, this is what we're doing on PC. And they had a team that's like, okay, how do we make this work on console? Like, I wouldn't want the game design to be like, hey, we made this cool thing. And then console guys are like, dude, we can't do that on console. Like, absolutely not. And then they're like, okay, well, we'll just dumb it down. Like, I hope that's not the process. The process hopefully is like, we made this cool thing. Here, console guys, make this work. And then they're like, shit, okay, let's figure out a way to make this work. I really hope that the game is fluid enough and good enough. And I hope next generation consoles are powerful enough because if we're being realistic, Diablo 4 is going to launch after next gen consoles. We're going to have PlayStation 5 and Xbox X, and so hopefully those consoles are powerful enough and configurable enough that you can maybe do crossplay. Like crossplay is the ultimate dream.
Yeah,
for me for Diablo 4. I think it would be, if the game is amazing. Okay, like let's set aside, like, just because I'm saying it's crossplay doesn't mean the game's going to be shit.
Sure.
Like, no, like let's assume the game's going to be amazing, and they get crossplay in there to where it is like, I don't care what you're playing on, let's throw down. You know, because the new consoles could probably support keyboard and mouse. I know PlayStation 4 and Xbox do now for Fortnite and other games.
Yeah.
So who's to say if you had Diablo 4 and you plug keyboard and mouse in, you can't, all right, boom, I got a PC experience.
Yeah.
You know, that would be ideal.
Yeah.
So, but that couch co-op though, 2 wireless keyboards and mice, you know, you could go ham.
Well,
I'm not upset if cross play or couch co-op is there. I just really hope that it doesn't take away from the development of other cool, exciting features. Because personally, I'm never going to play couch co-op.
Let me ask you something, because you have been playing. I mean, not have been, but like you have played plenty of Diablo 3 on Switch at this point.
Yeah, I've played enough. Yeah.
Did that feel good?
As a PC player going to Switch, no. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, and I had never played Diablo 3 and I played it on Switch first, yes, it would have been an amazing game and I would have liked it. And then like, this was awesome. But as a PC player going to console, the UI was drastically different. It works. Like, once you understand how it works, it doesn't take long to figure out, honestly. But once you figure it out, it takes like an hour or so to make that transition in your brain from PC to Switch to console. It works and it gets the job done. And I actually give them credit for like how intuitive they made it, because console is super limited compared to PC as far as input. But there are so many changes. It's like you're playing Diablo 3, but you're not playing Diablo 3. It felt like a different game that looked like the same game. There's mechanics were different. Graphically on the Switch, there's a huge resolution and texture downscaling. There's just so many little things that add up. But it's a fun game. Like, to have it portable, to be able to take with you and lay on the couch and play it, and undocked mode was phenomenal. If you're going to dock it, then you should probably just pick up a PC copy. You know, so
yeah, I should perform like a social experience and try POE on console just to see, because I mean, immediately I just think like, wow, that passive tree and inventory management and using consumables, like that's got to be terrible on console. But yeah, maybe it's not bad.
So if you log on console, do you get your PC account and all?
No, I don't think so.
You think it's a whole separate? You got to make a whole new account with fresh characters, and I
really have no idea. But
I wonder if you can log. I mean, it's like that for Diablo. It's like Diablo PC and console are different accounts, you know. So I just wonder if you can actually log in. But like, see, Fortnite is not like that though. Like Fortnite, for example, you can log in PC or console, and it's the same character, same account, same, you know, all your shit's there. So I'm just curious. Same for Destiny. They have crossplay now too.
That's good.
So it's just interesting. But no, the experience, I don't want to like crap all over console if that's what you play it on. It is a fun game, but PC is the superior version of Diablo 3. So, and I think that's something that they're probably trying to address with Diablo 4. I think that they realize that disconnect is there, and they want the game to be like, let's make them as similar as we can. So,
okay,
we'll see.
And then I found this like other poll that someone had done on Reddit that I wanted to go over. If you had an opportunity to see this. So
I did see this, yeah.
Diablo 4 features hate/excitement ratio. So they had like 1,500 people vote on these. I
like the poll. I hate the layout.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
On various categories. I think this one's fine. The one below it's like, what? I don't understand. So you know, going from the left, we have the inventory system is the most hated. So again, out of 1,500 people, it seems like about 66% of the people really hate the inventory system, and 34% are excited. Talent system, 59% of people hate, 41% of people are excited. You know, that kind of blows my mind. Like that 41% of people saw the talent tree and they're like, yes, here we go. I'm excited.
Yeah, and it makes me kind of wonder, are they excited to get more info? Or they're excited in like its implementation right now? And the inventory system, like, goddamn, I just, how is that number one on like
Hated?
you know? Like to me, managing
Itemization,
inventory is gonna suck regardless. Like, let's focus on the things that matter. Like itemization is interesting to me that it's 59-41.
Right. But yeah, itemization is 59-41. Like you said, that seems crazy. Again, like those are the, because we joke about it now, but you know, we got the itemization 2 update, and you know, I feel like most of us streamers at least were probably like, I mean, it's a step in that direction. It's like it's better, you know. And then
they got a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah, on Reddit it was
blows my mind.
Like we make the meme of like, ooh, this is inspired, you know.
I don't know. I was never on top of the itemization. Even when the blog post came out, I was never like, this looks amazing. I don't think I ever said that. I was like, I don't know, man. You know? So
to me it's a total debate, because they like added stats, but they didn't because of like they're locked behind like these.
I want an itemization. I hope the next blog post we get hits it again. Like, pretty please. I'm begging. Like, give us some.
Yeah. It does. Again, you know, I think that they don't want every post to be itemization, but at the same time, it kind of sends a weird message when you're like, okay, we're kind of like done talking about that. And then in the screenshots of, you know, the new inventory system, we see like they've gone forward and added those powers to the inventory screen. So it's like,
I think it's what we're going to get. I honestly feel like it's like, okay, done, you know, like,
oh God,
that's what we're going to get. I hope not, man. I mean, if the skills and the talent tree and the items themselves like have legendary powers that matter, like maybe it'd be a good thing. I'm sure there's more behind the scenes that we don't know that can make that good. But
then moving on, this blows my mind as well. The skills system, only 53% of people hate versus 47% excited. And to me, that's like, okay, you only have 6 skills, and that's all the skills that we've seen, and like big cooldowns. I feel like people don't even understand what they're voting for. Like,
yeah, that's what I wonder, is how this was laid out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was like, what are you excited to get news on, or what do you like and dislike about what's been unveiled so far? Yeah. Because like combat system and pacing, well, we got to play the demo. But we don't really know pacing. We don't know what it's going to be like to level. We don't know what in-game progression is going to feel like. So, but people voted that they're excited for it. So maybe they're excited to see it. Maybe I don't know. Cinematics, you know, I think I skipped open world. Open world's awesome too. And
UI,
the UI health bar.
Yeah, it's still mostly positive though. We're starting to shift. From UI,
the new UI health bar thing, it's fine. It looks like Diablo 3, which is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it looks better than any other What ARPG has the best looking UI?
Think about this. Think about this. You know the answer.
I have an answer. I have my answer.
Lost Ark.
Yeah, that's my answer too.
Okay. It's 100% Lost Ark.
Yeah, 100% Lost Ark.
Not even close.
So, and I still think theirs is better looking than Diablo 4's.
Oh yeah, there's no competition.
Yeah, but aside from that, Diablo 4's was second best.
Yeah,
I mean, like POE's is God.
2e2 is just the same.
Hold on, let me derail for half a second.
Okay.
And when you went and played POE, like the new POE 2
POE2,
or POE 4.0, whatever they're going to call it,
2.
Dude, tell me it looked better.
The UI?
Yes.
No, the UI is literally the same. So it's one of the things I say all the time. I'm like, it was so weird playing a game whose graphics were so good. The graphics were next gen, but then you put the POE 1 UI over it, and it was like,
did you ask anybody about that?
No, because I didn't get to talk to anybody, and that's what was the most frustrating part of ExileCon. Because it's like I just said hi to Bex and Chris Wilson basically, but I didn't get to talk to anyone about it, like other than streamers.
Oh, yeah. I hope, maybe, because I don't remember the details of that launch now. It's been too long. I hope that they update the UI a little bit.
Yeah, they have to.
I don't understand. don't understand PoE's UI is so dated looking. It's pathetic for real.
Yeah. You really have to like manage like the default map is disgusting. It's straight up from Diablo 2. And it's not until you like hide some of the like you slide the shaders that it's like okay-ish, but it's still it's brutal.
Okay,
I
we
agree.
can stop shitting on
derailed, yeah. But then like open world combat system, cinematics, enemies, art style, they're all mostly positive. I think that's
and I agree with that.
combat.
Open world, I think, is open world surprises me because I think a lot of people were going to be against that.
Yeah, true.
Because it feels very wowish and people like disconnect really hard there. But the combat system, we don't know anything about. Cinematics, enemies, and art style, of course, like those look great.
Awesome.
Like I'm with you on that.
Totally.
So,
and then this was like the second part.
We got the vote ratio to talk about. So the total vote ratio is still positive on that though. It's 471 to 954. Like that's a overwhelmingly positive because art style, enemies, and cinematics just slayed it.
Yeah.
So bad.
True.
So,
and then we have most voted for, most strong opinions, but it's like to me, it's like what? What do you mean? Like, is this like a scale 1 to 5, I guess, and then the ones that are like 1 or 5 get the high? I don't really know.
I don't know.
But yeah, so art style was like the most voted for. Itemization's number 2, which is still surprising why it's like almost 50-50 on likes versus dislike. Then talent system, skill system, combat, blah, blah, blah. And I don't really understand the second one, so I'm not really going to like talk about it because the way they set this up was like, what?
Yeah, the most hated items being items and itemization kind of at least lets me, it's like confirmation a little bit that people are like, hey, wait a minute. Like this isn't what exactly, like give us some feedback on here. We're not done. This conversation's not over.
Yeah.
And then talents too. So like those are the two, like they have those in order. Itemization, talent, skills, like those are all like boom, 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 important topics. Inventory came forth.
I think combat would go forth. Like to me, it's surprising that combat and skill system shouldn't necessarily be different ideals because at the end of the day,
they tie together. And combat felt so Diablo 3.
Yes.
To me.
And I think that's so dangerous because like people hated Diablo 3. And there's people that still hate Diablo 3. Like you ask a PoE player like, oh, what do you think about Diablo 3? And they're like, Omega lol, right? Like
I don't think the problem is that it's I don't understand why people would hate the combat in Diablo 3 because it feels good. It's good combat. The problem is we've played it for, years and years and years and years. So now we're going to get Diablo 4. And if it feels like Diablo 3, like, I mean, and when I'm saying it feels like it, I mean, it feels just like it. Then you're going to be like, this isn't new. This isn't a new game. I'm playing Diablo 3.5.
Yeah.
And I think that will turn away people and the newness and the freshness will wear off much faster than it should. That's what I'm scared about.
It seemed like everyone that I talked to at Blizzard that worked for Blizzard that weren't on the Diablo project, the Diablo 4 project, when they asked me what I thought about Diablo 4 and I said it just feels like Diablo 3.5, they all kind of like smiled. So I didn't know how to take that. It was like oh, Lord Fluffy being like classic fucking fluff, or was it like, yeah, we feel the same?
No, I don't think so. I don't think that I overly try to be negative. I try to be positive all the time, and I felt the same. Like, I don't know, man. I screwed myself by playing Lost Ark before BlizzCon because
you would have loved it.
I think my impression would have been a lot different had I not played Lost Ark before BlizzCon. But I played it, and then I was so like, oh my god, dude! If they copy Lost Ark mechanics, this game is going to be so good. And then we saw it and we played it, and I was like, yeah, I felt like I was playing a really polished version of Diablo 3, like with updated graphics, but it felt the same. And I think I was a little disappointed. And I think had I not played Lost Ark, I would have been like, yo, that's cool. That's awesome. So,
but yeah, that's just kind of like this random poll that was on Reddit this week that I found to be interesting. Obviously, like I would love to see Blizzard just like straight up poll on one of their posts. Anything. just to see like what kind of results they would get.
It'd be interesting to see them poll like, what do you want more feedback on for the next update?
Yeah, that's
just a
that's
simple
a
poll like
safe
that.
poll. That's a safe.
That is a super safe poll, and then they would get the feedback on what we want
to
get info on, which would be fucking itemization. I promise you. I promise you, itemization would win.
Probably.
So they'd already know that. They'd have to keep it off the list,
right?
You know.
But then people would be like, "Where is it?
Where's itemization?"
And then it's start deleting
PSA
comments.
Just before, I meant to do this at the start of the podcast and I didn't. Season starts Friday. You guys all know that.
True.
Don't do your challenge rift.
Do not.
It's already Tuesday. You've probably already screwed up if you're going to screw up. But don't do your challenge rift. Save it for the seasonal character. Make your seasonal character, log into them, log back out, do your challenge rift, log back in your seasonal character, collect the rewards, have a good leveling session.
Yep.
So
true. But yeah, and so we made the poll. And this one's just like, I want to know what you guys, like the viewers, think, right? Like, I don't know who's on this poll that we just looked through, but were you overall happy with the most recent Diablo 4 updates? Yes, no, in the middle.
Yep.
I'll post that for you guys next week. And then this was kind of random, but it's just like while we're on Reddit and these random posts. But so the the new head honcho of Diablo 4, the guy that came from Gears of War, he kind of tweeted out how the concept art for Diablo 4 was disturbing and calls it blatantly nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because like Gears of War, you fucking like chainsaw dudes in half.
Yeah, Gears of War is fucked, right? Like it's a dark game. So that's cool, man. I mean, good. I like that, right?
Yeah.
I don't want it to be a horror game. I don't want Diablo 4 to scare me. Like if I'm down in a dungeon, like Resident Evil 7 style. Listen, have you ever played scary games, Fluff? Do you ever play like horror games?
I think I played like Resident Evil on the GameCube once or something.
Man, I played Resident Evil 7 right before BlizzCon 2018, like the day before we left. It was Halloween.
Nice.
That game scared the living bejesus out of me, dude. Like it wasn't fun, man. It wasn't fun. I was so on edge. Like my anxiety level was so high for the entire time I played it. I'm like, this sucks. Why am I doing this to myself, man? So I definitely don't want Diablo 4 to be scary. But I'm okay with gruesome. Like they're different. They're different things.
I don't know. I hear all the time, on Reddit posts of like people saying how, when they played Diablo 1, Diablo 2 back in the day, and they'd be like in a dark dungeon, they'd hear noises and like they'd be scared. So I don't know. I kind of tend to think that that's probably the route that they're going to take when they're developing Diablo 4. Like they want you to feel like shit, man. Like there's no hope and I'm in a dungeon and like, where the fuck do I go?
Yeah. I mean, a little, there's a little anticipation is okay. I just don't want it to be where I'm freaking out all the time. I think a little bit's okay. But if I'm down there for like 2 hours, like,
buddy,
like jump scares and stuff, listen, play Resident Evil 7. I'm telling you, man. I don't know.
Hey,
back me up.
We'll probably be playing. We'll probably be playing Diablo 4 together. When it first comes out, I'll be there for you, buddy. You won't be scared.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I would like to see a Resident Evil stream from you, and let's see if it bothers you or if you're just like, chill.
Gaming God, no problem. Yeah. And then just randomly, before we get into your kind of next thing, all over Reddit this week. I don't know what it is, but like there's literally 3 posts with over 200, one's got 200 plus, one's got 500 plus, and one's got like 700 plus upvotes, which is really hard to do on Diablo 3's Reddit because Diablo 3 Reddit is pretty dead right now. And they're all transmog. They're all like literally either a video of their character's transmog in Diablo 3 or a picture. All of a sudden, this week, 3 of them.
Let's test this. You right now post on Reddit your current Necro transmog, and then let's see if it even breaks 10 upvotes.
It's weird.
I don't know. It does feel weird to me, and it's like, how How do you think they're getting 700 upvotes? 700 people
Yeah.
are
And it's
trolling
like
that forum that hard?
usually when you have something that's like that many upvotes, you have like a lot of comments and interaction, and a lot of them like don't.
So do you think it's rigged? Do you think it's it's
I
like being
think
botted?
I think it is a little botted. I
You
do.
think it's botted?
A little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will say that my I used to be a hardcore Reddit fan. I used to be on Reddit all day, every day, all the time. Like Reddit was just there. It was just always open in a browser. There were many subreddits that I used to follow, and it's become like YouTube comments, only worse to me. Like people are just so fucking toxic in Reddit now. It seems I don't know, man. It's become super negative. And I think especially for me, it started to change after Diablo Immortal's announcement. I don't know if it's just
Sure.
that's when I started paying attention, and maybe
Yeah.
it was always like
No,
that.
I agree.
But it's just like now it's like anytime anybody posts anything, it's either complete, hey, I'm a brand new noob. Let me ask the same question that I can literally scroll down 5 posts and get an answer for, or I'm just gonna like, you're an idiot for posting this. Like every comment feels like that. And it's like very rare. I have to dig to find like, oh, this is cool. This is interesting. Um, so I don't frequent Reddit as much as I used to anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just a me thing or if that's just
I mean, I'm all
a
over Reddit.
trend.
I love Reddit, even
Yeah.
if they are toxic.
I use Reddit a lot for information for things that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, hey, how do I? And I'll put Reddit in my Google search. I'm like, how do I put Reddit?
Mhm.
So
Yeah, man. But this is, so I'm showing on screen right now for you guys listening in. It's basically and this is kind of why I think it's jankety, because that's the pet from last season.
Right.
The new loot goblin. And then a wizard with transmogged it. Similar.
Mm-hmm.
And then 770 upvotes. This thing. I don't know. It just
Maybe people like the transmog game and we just don't know it. Maybe we should just start making content on transmogs.
Right.
Maybe that's the thing.
Maybe, dude.
I don't know.
Check out my transmog.
Check out transmog stream.
Yeah. And then this is like the second one. It's just like, it's literally just Imperious gear.
Yeah. And it's like you could dye that gear to match the white collector's edition wings, like self pat on the back. I have those. And you can dye it white and it looks better. So yeah, you even failed at your transmog game. I don't even get
500 votes in that thing. I was like, what happened this week?
I don't know.
And then this guy just posted a screenshot of like Raycor, I guess, with the skull. I don't know.
It's better than
I don't know, dude.
Treasure Goblin.
Yeah.
So
I'm not trying to be toxic. It's just like, to me, it just doesn't make sense. Like, why all of a sudden this week? But the bounty or the goblin posted, it makes sense to me either. So it just makes me like, why all of a sudden? So Reddit, like you said, is this normally like really, really toxic place? It's full of kind of like elitists, right? Of Diablo. Like we're all kind of like waiting for any kind of Diablo juice. And then like someone posts a picture of a transmog that we've seen like literally 1,000 times. And all of a sudden it's like, fuck yeah, this is great. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know either.
Tinfoil hats.
Yeah. All right, man. It's time.
Anyways.
It's time. I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Okay. We made a list.
Season starts Friday. What are you playing? Are you leveling with me Friday at season start? Are you going to play POE?
There's pros and cons.
Okay.
So hear me out. Let me know what you think about these, because I know internally you're struggling as well, whether you admit it or not.
Yeah, I'm struggling. I don't know if it's POE really that I'm struggling with, but yeah.
Okay, so pros to play the Diablo 3 season at launch.
Okay, these are all pros.
These are all pros.
Okay.
The POE League has a longer shelf life. So that means, there's literally no point in playing the Diablo anything after the seasonal start, because you're effectively like dead. At least for how I like to play the game, which is like competitive, right? In POE League, I mean, it'll have like up to 5K viewers, yesterday, which was the very last day of the league, right? So like, still a lot of people interested in what's going on, versus there's like 100 people in the Diablo 3 directory yesterday.
Yeah.
Diablo 3 season has maybe a 2 to 4 week shelf life. So again, it's kind of a pro. I mean, these are negatives, but they're pros to play Diablo at the start.
Yeah.
Right. And then again, like people are blown away, but I still very much enjoy like Diablo 3 season starts. Like they're fun. They're just fun. If you're not playing season start, there's a 0 point in starting later, right? That's a pro for playing Diablo. You can join in, especially with how I play POE. I play SSF. So like technically doesn't matter when I start.
Right.
Necro's crazy strong this season. It's the season of Necro, basically. Even though we got no changes. And there's Blightmancer will be more strong than it probably will ever be again. LOD Blightmancer.
Which is your build.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the face of Diablo. Okay.
Thank you.
This is me. This is my self-narrative, okay? The POE League starts tend to be a little buggy, and that's true. They usually like revert some things, or it maybe performance is bad, bugs, like people don't like the rewards, blah blah blah. But at the same time, they don't do a PTR, and the fact that they even have that crazy fast turnaround is a pro. But still, historically, POE League starts are pretty buggy. It gives me time to watch all the rip clips, to see if the new league is rippy. It helps me decide hardcore or not hardcore. If Quinn dies like 100 times, normal league. But if it's like 300, it could be like pretty rippy.
Yeah.
And then the last reason was I kind of feel already committed, because I was like, I was telling you guys, I told you and this other guy on Discord that we're gonna group it up, but we thought it was gonna be the 6th, not the 13th.
Yeah, right. It should have already happened, right?
Yeah. But now pros for POE. Okay. Obviously, infinitely more content is happening.
No.
2, FOMO. Big time FOMO. Fear of missing out. For you guys that don't know what FOMO is.
FOMO has become such a used thing in the last couple of weeks for me. I hear it all the time. Yeah, it's weird. My wife said it today. I'm like, did you just say FOMO? It was like weird. I'm like, okay. Interesting. Yep, a FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah, you missed the launch hype, right? There's obviously like way more, like POE had like 100K plus people in the directory at the start of last league, which is kind of nutty for an ARPG. You kind of miss, for me, I love creating builds. And so I would lose kind of that opportunity to kind of put my stamp on like, okay, this is a new build and like, this is my build, versus if I play like a month from now, it still might be like my build idea, but like maybe someone already did it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I miss the opportunity to learn the new mechanic quickly, maybe before others do, take advantage of it, help explain it to other people, instead of like coming in and being like, chat, tell me what's up. Instead of me explaining it to chat. I'm the future of POE, so that's another reason, right? If I don't play season 20, we know I'm playing season 21. Like there's literally nothing going to stop me from 21, because it's necro juice. Like it's confirmed necro content. So taking a season off or Diablo 3 would make season 21 maybe
you more invigorated to play.
Maybe.
Okay. I understand. Maybe. I'm with you.
And
until the league and the season line up perfectly again.
Right. Now, honestly, if they line up again, they're just like, if Necro got content, there's just no way I'm not playing Diablo 3. So that's my list, man. Like, what are your thoughts right out of the gate?
I think your list is pretty solid. I agree. I think so. I'm obviously I don't play POE. I don't even want to call myself a POE player because I have so little time in it. But I will say that from my experience, the Diablo season start is one of the most fun times in video gaming that I have. Like that first weekend, the first week, it's phenomenal. The second week is pretty good. But after that 2 to 4 week life, man, it's okay, I'm good. So at this point, I would say the season, if I were to pick, the season launch date for Diablo would be more fun for me than POE. But that's because my POE experience isn't good enough to make. I'm gonna be like, what am I doing? How does this work? How does that work? Mm-hmm. Whereas with Diablo, it's like, boom, let's go, and it's fun. And then also like grouping up, I think for the season start, it just makes it's a good time. You know, you
Sure.
can banter with friends and things like that. If you're doing POE SSF, you're going to be by yourself, which could still be fun. But so I don't know. I agree, man. I think the first 2 weeks of Diablo are phenomenal. You can jump into POE later on and you'll be good. That being said, POE's got more content. As a content creator, you got more views, potential things. You're gonna be in the hype. So it's a tough decision, man. It really is. It's a tough decision.
It is, man. It is. And I will say, so like, I do feel like a lot of, my audience has maybe shifted a little bit more towards enjoying PoE. And I will say, I posted a Necro Starter Guide, which historically for me are kind of like very successful videos because people kind of, I feel like, look to my channel for Necro stuff. And I posted a PoE guide yesterday that's already got like double the views of my Necro Starter Guide. So it's like, man, people are really thirsty for.
Yeah. And I hear
now.
you. It's the same. Like I don't so much of my viewership kind of just every time I play, either they'll come in my stream when I'm not playing Diablo or when I play Diablo and they're just like, oh man, I stopped playing this game months ago, and it's like, okay, cool. So except for I didn't fall back to PoE. I didn't like set up shop in another directory. I just floated and floated.
Yeah.
So I just killed myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, it is what it is. But it's kind of the same for me. I've been a huge Division fanboy, even though the game sucked for so long. And they came out with a new expansion Monday. And
I hear that's been great.
Last Monday. And it's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
It's good. And they stole so many ideas from Diablo 3. It's crazy. They
Really?
stole a Paragon system that's refined. So it's like what Diablo should do. Think about soft cap. It hitting like basically their version of the Paragon system. It works until soft cap. And then at Paragon 800, instead of getting more power to your character, they give you resources. It's like, oh, here's crafting materials. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so you still get something for leveling up, but you're not getting that infinite power. But I've been having a great time with that. So to me, it's like I am like, in love with Division right now. Like it's consuming me off stream. Like off stream, I'm thinking about builds and doing all that, which I haven't had a game do in a while.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's like to me, it's like, man, do I jump in the Diablo season and play that? And it'll be blast. I'm sure it'll be fun. Or do I just continue to grind Division and have a good time with that?
Yeah.
Or PoE. So
I just thought of another one though, and we'll get into this in a minute. But the patch notes for PoE,
yeah,
like annihilated me. It seems like they sniped me. No, but yeah, they hurt Poison big time, big time.
They got you, huh?
Oh man, we'll talk about that in a minute. But holy shit.
Yeah. All right, it's the moment of truth, dude.
Oh, I decide right now.
You have to pick.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Guys, tune in Friday, March 13th to find out what we play. I'll tell you because you are in my group.
Oh, okay.
But
so just follow me on Twitter if you want to know. I'll tweet it out as soon as he tells me after the podcast. Oh man. Okay, so you're really not gonna pick. All right.
No.
All right.
You have to wait, chap.
Okay.
And then you had something.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly how in-depth this really is, but I haven't played since the patch went live. People have been stopping by my stream telling me that Hydra is super underwhelming and that the damage isn't there and that they need to buff it before the season hits. And also what the video you're showing in the background, Hydras won't attack. What are those little wall creature things called? I don't even know their name.
It's German in the screen, so
yeah, I don't know. But whatever those things are, apparently Hydra wizards won't attack them, so that'll be fun. But what do you think, man? Do you think that they're gonna sneak in a little stealth buff to damage for Hydra?
It's weird.
I've had several people tell me that they're under.
Yeah, there's no question. Like Lawn is still the playstyle. We said this 100 times. Like, if the season goes forward and you're not even playing the new set for Wizard because it's not as good as like the Lawn version, then like that's a fail. It's a big time fail to me. I would be surprised without another change, but I feel like we would have gotten that today.
That's what I would have thought too. The season's launching Friday, man. It's practically Wednesday by this point. So do you think? I mean, I guess they could stealth patch on Thursday, maybe, or
Yeah.
even today, even Wednesday. Um, I don't know. I hope that they do something. I do feel like I do. I am not interested in the Hydra build at all if it's underpowered, because for one, it's already like kind of screwed up from the etch sigil and nerfs where they have to channel for a second to get the buff anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And so that already kind of kills the playstyle a little bit. And then two, now it's going to be underpowered, you know.
What the hell is this Mystic doing, by the way? She's like running in and out.
Yeah, I don't know.
The hell?
So that's all I had.
What
Man.
are- So what are you thinking
curious.
now? Like, what are you gonna play for Diablo 3 season? What class?
If we level together, then the plan is to go rats off the bat.
Obviously.
I think that would be fun. I think that would be a good deal. If you decide to play POE, then I don't know. I'll have to talk to the replacement that I get for you and see what comps we want to run. I think I was probably leaning towards Hydra Wizard until everybody's like it's so underpowered. So maybe Barb. Maybe I'll run Barb and check out the new Barb set. It seems to be decent. So
I don't
know. But I don't know. Honestly, I'm still in the air. It's going to be Necro if you're on the team for sure, and if not, then it's kind of thing. Witch Doctor looks so OP. I can't do it.
I played. So we played. Actually.
Okay, so tell me about it. What did you think?
It's good, man. It's really good.
Is it fun? Like, what? Quantify good. Good is in powerful, or good is in fun.
Okay, light years ahead of I feel like anything else the Witch Doctor has to offer.
Okay.
And honestly, like Spirit Barrage, it's a bit more interactive, I think, than most builds. So it's not just like, okay, left click. So I always gravitate towards those type of builds. I would compare it. God, if I had to compare it to something, I don't even know what I would compare it to. It's I don't know. It's good. I actually did enjoy the play style. It's not going to be still probably like a build you'd want to like speed farm like 90s or 100s. I think it'll excel more in like the slower but really more powerful and probably more XP like 110s. You could do like probably like 5 to 6 minutes, which is still really good, but you're never gonna get like crazy like 2-minute fucking consistently like 2-minute crazy clears in like 90s or 100s. So there is that, but I mean it is better for XP to run like 5-minute like 110s or whatever. So I mean it's good. It's just all around good. It's the way.
Is it good enough that you would play it in a season?
I honestly, if I was playing this season, like if I was gonna go ham this season, I would probably I'd start a Necro, I'd do the rats, and maybe push with LOD Poison Scythe, and then if I got bored, I would probably end up making a Spirit Barrage Witch Doctor.
Cool. Well, maybe I'll check it out this season at some point. I don't think I would start with it though. I'd probably either go Necro or Barb. Those are my two go-tos. So, Speaking of power though, what about this? So Bloodshed and Rax both.
I thought it was worth like showing both. So, Bloodshed is kind of he's got his finger on the pulse of what's going on with Diablo, right? Like he streams the game like 8 hours a day. He's a machine. And so like if you don't agree with this or not, it's just his opinion or whatever. So his S tier, which is him and Riker do like S A B C. It's becoming like a thing, like the meta for tier lists. All right. So his S tier is Heaven's Fury, still even after the animation cancel. Mundunugu, Witch Doctor. Not surprised there. It's super strong. It probably could use a little nerf, but I hope that they don't. I hope that they wait. I think the Witch Doctors deserve having a season of being good.
Season of OPness.
Yeah. Yep. And then we're rolling Barb. Kind of slips through the cracks again, and unless it's gonna get Blizzard nerf Barb. Unless it slips through the cracks again. Crazy strong. Crazy strong. And then A tier, we have Paj TR. Sun Wuku.
Wuko Tempest Rush.
Yeah. And then we have LOD Hydra, which is unfortunate. We do
That's
not
so
see
unfortunate,
Wizard Hydra.
So unfortunate, man.
And we have Frenzy, the new Frenzy set, A tier. I think that's good. I think that honestly, if you make a new set and it's A tier, then you've done okay.
Yeah, but not when Whirlwind Barb is still above it.
I agree.
So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's tough. I mean,
Okay.
historically, Blizzard comes out with new things, and it would probably be S tier, like you see with Mundunugu and the Heaven's Fury and the Whirlwind Barb from last league. So
I really thought that the Frenzy Barb needed a damage buff as well as a toughness buff when I played it in PTR. And I guess it's performing on that one. What did they say? The 130 level or 135 level? I can't remember exactly what that tier was, but it was performing right there. And man, it does sadden me that Whirlwind Barb is still ahead of it. So
Yeah.
So because if you play a Barb, what are you going to play? Well, Whirlwind smokes. It's like lazy.
it's better.
It's fast. It's more powerful.
Yeah.
And then if you decide to play Z-Barb, you're not playing Frenzy. So there's like no reason to play Frenzy except for just the fact that you want to.
Sure.
So that's disappointing to me.
Yeah.
But
this would all be solved if Blizzard would just do a fucking leaderboard filter or have leaderboards per set. This would all be fixed. None of this would matter because people wouldn't care.
Not though. Like I'm still gonna play Whirlwind to farm though. I'm still gonna play Whirlwind to farm.
But that's just like efficiency. That's not like what I want to push with. That doesn't necessarily equate efficiency.
It would definitely help if they put filters in for sure. Yeah.
And then we have Veers. Veers still pretty good. Zuni, LOD, Dagger of Darts, which might even be faster in like lower tiers than Mundunugu.
Mundunugus.
LOD Blessed Shield. I actually didn't even know that.
I like that build. Actually.
Captain America.
Yeah.
LOD Rapid Fire, which fucking grenades. God damn it. Why?
It's in the belt, man.
Yeah, I know. But it's just why grenades, not like why. Right.
Yeah.
Multi-shot is coming back up because I assume they can wear the COE now. So that's nice.
Yeah, but they can't put a furnace on still.
Yeah. Lame.
Which blows my mind. I don't even understand.
Apparently it's not that easy. LOD Lance, A tier, 135. B tier, we have Shadow DH. And again, B tier, like, these are still high. So there's like 130, according to Bloodshed. Shadow DH, Seismic Slam Barb. This is actually a really fun build if you guys haven't checked that out. I know there's 2 other ways to play the Barb, but that's pretty good. LOD Hoda, which is nice. LOD Mages, which might even be better than what he's setting here. It actually might be A tier, but who knows? I guess we'll see. Ina's Sunwuku Wave of Light, B tier. N6M4, Cluster and Multi, apparently. Condemn.
Yeah, not a fan of that one.
Yeah. Leapquake, Jade, Juliana EP, Pestilence Trag, and a 130. I don't think that's possible, but what do I know? Raycor Hoda, Invoker, and LOD Meteor in the 130 range.
Or Tal too, yeah.
And then finally C tier, we have Helltooth Garg, Hammerden, Fist of Heaven Satyr, IK Hoda, Firebat, LOD Bomb, Melee Mancer, Charge Barb, DMO, Frozen Orb, Gen Monk, Roland Marauder, and LTK Monk.
IK Hoda is a fun farm build if you've never played it. It's decent, especially early in the season. It is
strong.
Fun.
I think it's a little dull, but it is strong.
It's not something I want to play very long.
Yeah.
But to play it for a night, for an evening or two, like early in the season, if you get the pieces and throw it together, it's not bad.
Yeah, honestly, like when I think IK Hoda, there was that one season where Barb was the DPS in the group.
Yep.
And I happened to do a lot of like 4-mans that season.
7, 8. Yep.
So I'm like, that was all the Hoda I needed for my whole
sit there
Diablo.
And just hammer smash your face off in the grips, like boom, 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 boom.
That was all I needed to never ever want to play Hoda again.
Yeah,
that one season.
But back then you were seeing like 5 billions or whatever.
right.
It's like, oh shit, and now it's like we're hitting quintillions, so it doesn't matter. But
Right.
back then, I remember seeing numbers that I had never seen. Like, oh my god.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then Rax made this sort of best builds by category, which is pretty interesting way of thinking about it. So for speed on DH, he likes multi-shot. For speed on wizards, he likes Chantoto Veers. For satyr, he likes Heaven's Fury, Witch Doctor, Spirit Barrage, Monk, Wave of Light, Tempest Rush, Necro Mages, and Barb Whirlwind. So those interesting.
If you look at these trends, like go down the satyr list.
True. So satyr
Go
is
down the
literally
Witch Doctor
all
list.
Heaven's Fury. Witch Doctor is literally all Spirit Barrage.
And wizard is pretty much all Hydra too, but except for the speeds.
Right. For solo, I assume he means pushing. We got DH with Rapid Fire, Wizard with Hydra, Satyr Heaven's Fury, Witch Doctor Spirit Barrage, Monk Tempest Rush, Necro Lancer, and Barb Whirlwind. For group, Impale DH, Wizard Hydra, Satyr Heaven's Fury, Witch Doctor Spirit Barrage, Monk Z Monk, of course. And will always, forever in the history of Diablo 3 will probably remain that way, which is pretty sad.
Yep.
And then Necro has the Nova, I think is worth noting, and Z Necro probably.
Yep.
And then Barb, Z Barb, and Frenzy.
Did you try the new Necro Nova build? Foreman stuff?
Well, here's the thing: is like there's kind of some misinformation out there because the Nova is like one of the top builds from last league because of the kill streak mechanic. Like a lot of websites
break on POE. That league.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. You're gonna have to get over it.
Oh my god. Okay, from last season.
Yeah, and so a lot of like websites are like, oh, this is the best. These are the top builds for this season, and everyone's putting like solo Nova is like the top build. It's like, you know, that doesn't work like without kill streak. Right. So like Icy Veins, which Blizzard loves for some reason, it has that as it is. Casual, it's like builds that are easier to play, which I think is a great category, by the way. Multi-shot, Hydra, Heaven's Fury, Spirit Barrage, Tempest Rush, Mages, Whirlwind. And then hardcore for DH, Impale, for Wiz, Hydra, for Satyr, Heaven's Fury, for Witch Doctor, Spirit Barrage. For Monk, Tempest Rush, Z Monk. For Necro, he just says you're dead, which is totally true.
Yeah.
Barb, Z Barb / Whirlwind. So that's a good little list. And then he's finally got these like ranking summary.
Yeah, comparative to last season.
So like for speed, he ranks Monk number 1. And I wonder if this is like for speed GR for just Torment.
I would think probably Torment.
Yeah, I would think so too. But yeah, Monk rank 1, Necro rank 2, DH rank 3, Barb rank 4, Wizard rank 6, and Satyr rank 7 for speed.
In Torment, man, I don't think anything's as fun as just running a Singularity Mage build and just smashing some Torments, dude.
Yeah,
I know. Like you're a big Blightspear fan, and I haven't ran Blightspear that much, honestly. But there was some Singularity Necro builds that I used to run, and they were just gold wrap, couldn't die, run around, just smashing the whole screen.
Yeah, I don't like Blightspear on Torment that much, but it is fast. Yeah. For solo pushing, rank 1 goes to Witch Doctor, which no brainer there. Spirit Barrage is really strong. Rank 2 goes to Satyr. Rank 3 goes to Wizard. 4 to Barb. 5 to Monk. Necro 6. DH last.
Feels bad.
In terms of group play, Necro's number 1. Which is cool because I mean the Nova 4-man build, that is cool. Like it is a good time. So that's cool. Barb rank 2, potentially Frenzy Barb and Z Barb in the group. Monk rank 3, ZDPS. Congrats. Right. Witch Doctor rank 4. I'll probably be RGK / DPS. Satyr rank 5, Wiz rank 6, and DH rank 7. Poor DH.
Yeah, Satyr could RGK still for non-super competitive groups. It would still be viable.
Yeah, totally. For support, Barb's rank 1, Monk's rank 2, no surprise there. Z Necro for speeds rank 3, Like, really, nothing else really matters, to be honest.
Nothing else even has it. So.
For casual players, the rank 1 would go to Barb. I assume that's because of Whirlwind. It's super easy to play. Rank 2 goes to Monk. Rank 3 goes to DH. Impale, I assume. Rank 4 goes to Wiz. Would you say the new Hydra build's like really, really easy?
It's pretty easy to play.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Rank 5 goes to Witch Doctor. There is a lot of micromanagement that happens, I think, with Mundanugu, but it is pretty easy to play. But like to really min max, you gotta
Heaven's
like
Fury is not very hard to play either, especially now that they've nerfed the stutter step. So it's
maybe
weird
this is
to me that the rank is low.
Because you have to if you're pushing your stacking stricken with the hammers and stuff, so it's like a little different. Maybe.
Okay. Maybe.
Hardcore just gives a yay nay value. DH yay, Wizard yay, Satyr yay, Witch Doctor nay, Monk yay, Necro lol, Barb yay. And then overall, this is how he would rank just all the classes in general. Barb gets rank 1, Necro gets rank 2, Monk gets rank 3, Wizard Doctor 4, Satyr 5, Wiz 6, DH 7. So
yeah.
If you guys don't know, Bloodshed has a ton of like overall knowledge. I would say Rax is kind of like one of the go-to sources, I would say, for probably like 4-man. So if you guys are interested in either of those guys,
he's huge into the competitive scene.
Yeah.
And Bloodshed just plays the shit out of the game.
Yeah, so he just knows his shit.
He just knows a lot about it. So both good. Obviously, they're opinions. You know what I mean? So take it with a grain of salt.
Right. Before you chat like, oh no, this build is done. Yeah.
Yeah, your favorite class is Demon Hunter, so you're like super pissed right now. It's okay.
Yeah.
Witch Doctors. I hate Witch Doctors, and they're getting ranked pretty good this season. So, but yeah, it's interesting to see. Maybe that'll help people make decisions on what they want to play in the season. I honestly don't. There's nothing that's really gravitating towards me. I think Necro would be fun. I think it would be fun to play the 4-man meta with the Nova. But I already know I'm not going to play enough in the season to have competitive damage. Like I'm not going to farm rats 12 hours a day for the first, month to even have the Paragon or the gear that I'm going to need to do it. So that kind of already is like,
yeah.
But I can still Necro and Z Necro and do all that kind of stuff. And, maybe I'll play more than I think and get the damage for it.
Right.
We'll see. That's the cool thing, I think, why so many people like Z characters. That's why Z characters aren't getting killed. I think that's why the community likes them. Because you can still do competitive level content as a Z character, and you don't have to be Paragon 4000. You can be Paragon, 1200 with some augments. And, okay, I can Z Monk. I can Z Barb. So.
Yeah. And then you found this like little video on the deep dark webs.
The weird thing, if you guys are listening to the audio version and you can't hear this, it's basically what Diablo would look like if it were over the shoulder. And it looks interesting to me, man. So the guy never moves on screen. I think this is faked. I think somebody took a 3D model generator of some sorts and then like move the camera and then put the backgrounds on there. I don't think this is actual like gameplay footage, although it looks interesting. I don't think it's a camera hack, but I'd play that. Like, what do you think, man? Like running around, like if you could run around with WSA and D,
I think that like this to me, like if you could say, move around, this kind of feels like an arcadey. What was that game where you're Gauntlet? Like a Chinese warrior and you just like fucking fight hordes of dudes? You got like
Chinese warrior.
Yeah. Chat, can you help me out? I don't know.
That's our damn it. Dynasty Warrior?
Yeah, maybe. Probably.
Dynasty Warrior is what you're thinking. They made 1 million titles of it.
Right.
Like every 3 months they'd have a new one, like Dynasty Warriors 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1 million. Right. Yeah.
So that's what I kind of think of when I see that. Yeah. It just looks kind of.
It looks okay to me. Like I'd play it. Like look at the environment. Like it'd be kind of cool to run around and search stuff. Would it be better than its current form? Nope. But I think I'd.
Oh, okay. So that's the question. Is like, would you play a Diablo game if it were like? Well, sure, I'd check it out. Of course, it's Diablo.
I would.
But I mean, I definitely would prefer isometric. ARPG without question. For me.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting though. I
Yeah,
saw that
it
on
is.
Reddit, and I'm like,
I was like watching this, like when you linked it in the schedule. I was like, what the fuck is this?
it's what was that project they canceled?
Yeah, the Dark Souls over the shoulder thing.
And I don't know, man. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's leaks. This is what Diablo 4 was originally, guys.
And then we get some pretty crazy POE stuff. Let me refresh to jump into some of the POE stuff. So POE gets these, I don't know if I told you about this last week. So they get these new cluster jewels.
Okay.
And they basically release like all of the kind of special, these are just like the special mods that you can get with some of these jewels. Like you can obviously get like just like normal common mods as well, but like this thing is just nutty. There's so many things on here too. Like if you would ask me yesterday, how insanely hyped are you for the POE League? After I saw this, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. Yeah. This is so cool. Like there's so many good things in here. There's so many good things for the builds that I like to play. And like every genre seems to hit them, like crit, dot, like AoE and Purity, Agony, Aura, Heralds, like Chaos, Poison, like all the things, attack speed, dual wielding.
How do you get these things? Are these going to be drops?
Yeah, so basically, from what they've said, we don't know completely so far, but they'll drop from like Delirium encounters. You know, the large ones, the large will be the most common. The medium clusters will be like kind of uncommon, and like the small clusters will be like pretty rare. And I guess you can craft on them, which that's kind of the coolest thing. It's not, they just don't just drop and just like, well, I can't use this. Rip. I guess you can craft them somehow, and so like try.
Like, what do you mean by craft them? You're going to make it something else?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. So if you get like something that's like minions,
you get like that one of the purple chaos ones, and you're like, man, I wanted an aura. Gem.
Yeah, I guess you could. You couldn't like. I don't know if you can focus like, ooh, I want to make that aura boom. But I think you could just like maybe RNG and try to get into something else.
Try to do it.
I know.
Because my thing is, like, let's say you're playing your poison build, and then like, so you need a specific gem, and there's a billion on this list, and you're like, I'm never gonna get that in SSF.
Right.
You know what I mean? No.
Yeah.
So like, what do you do? You know, what do you do?
Yeah. I'm curious because I don't think that anyone knows yet if you're gonna be able to like kind of focus anything, but at the very least, we know they're gonna have a vendor recipe. Which anytime I hear like vendor recipe, I'm like, cool. Like they've at least thought about SSF a little bit. So you're gonna be able to sell like 5 of these cluster jewels to just get like a random new one, which is great.
Okay.
So hopefully,
if they drop a decent amount,
exactly,
just, RNG, like spam them.
So hopefully that means they drop pretty frequently, because just like not getting to utilize these at all, like would feel pretty bad.
Yeah, they can't put a whole league mechanic in and then cut everybody off from it. Right. So I would assume they're probably going to drop frequently, but we'll see.
But man, there's a lot of juicy stuff in here, and it's pretty exciting. And you're going to be able to branch out and make your own tree, basically. When just that concept alone is so cool. To just be like, you know what, I'm going to go this whole other way that's like over here.
So those little side things right there, though, that you're branching out to, you're going to still have to connect to them for them to be active.
The way these work is so you have to pick a cluster jewel or a jewel socket that's on the outside. So like if I picked a socket, say right here, like this is a socket, it won't work. Yeah. It has to be an empty socket on the outside of the skill tree.
To expand it.
And then it's going to go out this way. And these wouldn't normally be here.
You're going to have to start planning builds ahead of time and be like, all right, I need to get to the outside to use this.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how we're going to make that happen.
Right. And that's that's, it's going to be a tough time for sure.
For sure.
Hang on. Let me just play music.
So yeah, we'd have to see how often they drop, and hopefully it's a high enough drop rate to get to utilize them. I would assume it is.
Yeah,
or at least enough where you can RNG craft. But if they're not super common, then when you do get the one you want, man, you're going to pog out. You're going to be like, oh shit, it's on, let's do it. So,
but yeah, so there was that. And then today we got the patch notes like an hour before the podcast. This has kind of like been a thing for the past, I think 3 leagues is like it comes out an hour before the podcast,
which is awesome.
And so we kind of just like, it just hits us. So it's hard to like really dive into deep into like a lot of the things because we just found out right before the start of the podcast. But the big changes, other than the things they've already announced and kind of their little flavor announcements that they've done over the past couple of weeks, is they've changed fossil crafting. And this is pretty huge. This is like game changing.
Okay. So what's changing? Read it to me.
So basically, like, there were mods you could only get from fossil crafting, and fossil crafting is great. Like, I think it's like one of the best things in POEs because, you know, it gives you ways of trying to make items that are kind of tailored for what you're looking for. And fossil crafting just makes it so you have like maybe a better chance to hit the things you really want. And when you do a craft, and it's not just like total RNG. And fossil crafting is brilliant. But what they've done, which originally what they've done is actually really cool. They basically said, you know what, screw like only things that spawn off of fossil crafting. Like, there's no longer going to be anything exclusive to fossil crafting. So basically what that says is like you're going to be able to get a natively rolled item that could be like insane. So you don't have to like, you can only fossil craft to get that mod. So that means like you're completely relying on crafting to get like what you really need. Instead, you can possibly get like a natively rolled, like amazing thing, which I'm totally down with. The problem is, one is that dilutes the pool of things, right? So like it's going to be harder now, even harder to get like a natively rolled, like really good item because you've diluted the stat pool with like more things. So that's rough.
I'm following you.
Yeah. But what really kills me is this bottom thing. So they've taken the chance for poison inflicted to deal more damage, which is like what all my builds revolve around. And they've added to be a elder influence. And so what elder means is so like map mods can be like shaper or elder. And that used to be like pretty common to get those because like that's how it, like, you remember when you played, there'd be like that fuzziness that was on your Atlas screen and it would like move. Yeah, that was like elder or shaper. But now they've like deleted that. And so you can only get it from like RNG, like through scarabs or through Zana missions. And so like the rate at which you see elder and shaper is like way lower than it was before. And just for like reference, so I played like at least 800 plus hours last league in POE. I got one shaper claw. And that's not even the right influence. I need elder now. I got one shaper claw. So it's like, so these are only doing damage to those maps that have elder influence on them, that are in the foggy area or whatever the case is. No.
Is that what that's saying then or not?
That's saying that like that really good affix for a weapon that I need, that I've been like relying on and making my builds around, that can only now happen on a weapon that's insanely rare. And I will probably never see.
It only drops from those places. I got you. Okay. I'm with you.
And so it effectively, I mean,
it's like, I guess if you're not SSF, you could buy one of those weapons. Maybe.
No problem. Just buy it.
But
just
for
buy the
SSF
base.
people, you're just effed.
You're fucked. You're actually fucked. And I mean, people always come in the stream and they're always like, well, they don't balance the game around SSF. I mean, I fucking get it. But it's still, to me, I hate this because I could just play like Spectres and 5 Link Awakener 8. I could just play Cyclone and like 4 or 5 Link Awakener 8. And the build that I had to work my ass off for on a poison build to kill Awakener 8 and SSF. Now that's nerfed. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like you're just pigeonholing people into metas.
The meta. Yeah.
And SSF. And I just hate that.
Yeah.
But
they know what's best, Fluff.
But I get why they did it, because it's like, you know, in Trade League, you could probably make an insane fucking poison build.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't know. More reason to play Diablo season start? You know, that's what you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So that's disappointing. I get it. I understand. You know, the face of poison build got hurt a little bit.
Yeah. It just hurts as an SF player. Like it was good, man. It was cool to be able to craft the weapons I would need for like a really powerful. I mean, like it still took me many crafts, like 30 plus crafts on a claw, like a Gemini claw, to get what I would need, basically, to get something that's like, oh wow, that's actually pretty good.
And how long would it take you to get the Mastercraft?
Weeks. And so now, not only do I have to get an Elder Claw, which again, I got one Shaper Claw all league, because they have to natively drop. You can't just like get one. You can't just pick one up.
Right.
And now I have to not only get that, but I have to get the right kind of claw, because there's multiple kinds of claws, and like only a couple of them would be really, really good for the build. So it's like, fuck me, dude.
The dreams, man.
Crushed. Devastating. So
yep.
Anyways.
I didn't read any of the notes yet. Obviously, it just dropped before podcast. I haven't had time. I'll look at them and glance over them. I don't play enough to really understand half the shit they're talking about. But so your thoughts overall? I mean, if you can somehow put aside that one little change, did you get a chance to go through the rest of the stuff?
Yeah, like totally. I mean, it's like you say.
What were your overall impressions?
Like every league, I start to understand like more and more of the patch notes. Mm-hmm. But you know, to touch on what you said, like there is still a lot. I'm like, what? Like, okay, like fine. They did nerf minions a little bit. It seems like they nerfed skeletons quite a bit. They nerfed the Baron quite a bit, which was, I think, needed to happen. These skills required like 0 investment to kill like the most end game shit. So when I see like the poison thing got killed, it just kind of blows my mind, because I don't know, because it doesn't, right. But we're trying to be independent of that. But it's still like, again, like, why? I don't know. The other things, like, you know, they're making some of the other movement skills cooler. They did add like a gem that makes some of the other movement skills better, but at the cost of like having to link it to a gem. So there's like flame dash, and then there's like other movement skills,
right?
But now the other movement skills will be better, like they'll be as good as flame dash, but you have to link them to something. So it's like at the end of the day, like, why don't you just use flame dash still?
Right.
So that doesn't really make sense to me.
What's going to be OP this season? What are they buffing the crap out of?
I think that wands and Spellslinger will be pretty insane, even after the nerfs to poison. You can so what it means is like you can do your basic wand attack and then reserve mana for like a spell to get triggered automatically just when you attack.
Yeah.
I think that people are gonna come up with some crazy shit with that. I mean, we already did.
So when it auto attacks, is it still going to use your mana?
No, I just use whatever the mana is required for the attack, not the mana required for the spell.
Okay.
But at the cost of like reserving.
Require mana, do they?
Yeah, well, so your basic auto attack, which would technically be a wand attack, no, that requires 0. But that wouldn't be as efficient.
A spell?
Yeah, that would trigger a spell. But that wouldn't be as efficient as running like an actual proper wand attack, like Power Siphon or Kinetic Blast and stuff like that.
I got you.
There's like wand attacks that are specific to wands. Yeah.
And so you could also have those now proc other things on top of it.
And on top of them being like a 6-link powerful attack already. So
right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that will probably be what to look out for. I still think minions will be pretty insane. There's nothing in here that nerfs Cyclone, and Cyclone I think will only benefit from the new Cluster Jewels. So I think everything that's meta will stay meta, besides maybe Baron and Skeletons. But everything that was good this league is going to be good next league.
Cool. Well, there you have it, boys.
Yep.
Patch notes are out. You can read over them.
Yep.
It's that time.
Yep.
Do you have some hate this week?
I do.
Okay.
I don't want you know. This is super topical.
You want me to go first? See, I got 2. I got to make up for last week.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so I'm going to do one. I'll let you do the hate, and then I'll follow up with my second one. So my first one, ThaPChild loves. Goddamn. I love the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo.
Did you play it?
Oh, yes.
Nice.
Dude, it was... I can't remember a time where I was playing a game and just couldn't wipe the smile off my face, man. I was ear to ear grinning like a little kid. I was so happy. It was so nostalgic. It was so kick-ass.
Diablo 4 demo didn't do that?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Not
Okay.
like this is different. This is different, man. It's just different. No, I don't think it did. I think the Diablo 4, I was like so like, what are they doing? What's it going to be? You know, like, and this one was more like, I know what's going to happen, right? It's just like, how cool is it going to be? How cool did they make it? You know?
I get you.
And so it's different, but I was so excited and so happy to play it. The only complaint I even have is it felt like it was running at 30 FPS, which makes you want to vomit. But aside from that, like, you know, that's just console thing. It was phenomenal, dude. Graphically, the story was spot on. The voice acting was great. The demo was about an hour of playtime if you didn't like mad rush through it. Combat felt like it could be challenging if you wanted it to be. You know, they had easier difficulties if you wanted to, you know, if you're noob. So it was fun, man, and I loved it. I'm just saying, if you guys own a PlayStation 4, it's free. There's a demo. You can play the first hour of the game. It's good.
Yeah. Cool, man. What playing the demo and being torn away from that demo and knowing like, oh damn, I'm like gated.
Yeah.
To like know that feeling, but then to think about the feeling of like, wow, I'm really invested in like part 1, and then they're gonna take it away from you, and you know there's like so much more. How's that gonna feel?
That's gonna suck. So okay, the demo came and I played the demo and I was like, this sucks, because I wanted the full game so bad after. Right. Like my hype level wasn't even really on the radar yet. You know, I'm like, I got all these new things to play. And I played the demo and I was like, oh my, I'm so excited for you know, the 10th of April when the game comes out. Like there's no doubt in my mind that that's what I'm playing that day. You know, so it was great. The fact that you're only gonna get a third of the story. I assume it's gonna be a third of the story. It's gonna suck, man. You know? It's just gonna, it's like, I guess it's like a season of Game of Thrones ending back before they fucked the ending up, or you know, Lord of the Rings when they were launching the movies year after year. I'm hoping this is gonna be a 1-year cadence at worst. If they make us go more than a year for the second or third title, it's gonna, man, it'd be brutal.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know.
But that's it, man. I love it. So if you guys have a PlayStation 4, go play it.
How many like CGI cutscenes were in the demo?
Just one. I think the intro, like I mean, they followed pretty close to suit with the Final Fantasy VII opening. I mean, it was pretty spot on, but the CG was so good. Like Aerith, or Ares, if you played North American version, she looked baller. I mean, it was like, when you see her, you're just like, oh damn, you know. And then it looked good, man.
Yeah,
it looked good. Cool. I'm just like, as much of a Final Fantasy VII fan as you were, you got to get a PS4, dude. Like, just buck up. You spent $100 on a fucking survey. Just go buy a PS4. Throw down when it comes out. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. The demo felt good enough. Like I'm thinking they killed it. But
part of me is like, why don't I just wait until like they're all done and then play the whole thing?
No. No, just no. What?
Then play like the game how it's intended to be played, like all at once. I don't know, man. I don't think I don't know. Couldn't do it. You know, if you're gonna do that, you might as well wait till it's released on PC and then get the frame rate with it. Well, hell yeah, that'd be dope. I'd rather do that.
You know? So yeah.
Okay.
It's worth it, man.
Any other PChild loves?
You're gonna get those PS4s cheap now too, right? You know, aren't they gotta be going on sale with PS5 coming around the corner. So
no idea.
All right, let's hear it. What do you hate? Tell me.
Controversial.
Okay.
Coronavirus. And specifically just the kind of idiocracy that's formulated around it.
Okay.
So, like, I don't want to just sit here and be like, oh, there's nothing to worry about. Like, it's not even going to kill you because you're not old. There's just so much, like, I don't know. One, it doesn't help that, like, Trump makes it worse by, like, downplaying it or saying that we have, like, a vaccine in the works when, like, we're not even close. And, like, I think that that's super dangerous for anyone in power to do. It's just like we're incredibly not prepared for, like, there's no denying how fucking contagious this coronavirus is. Like, there's a story of like this guy that like he got it from a cruise. He comes home and he's feeling sick. He gets his whole family sick. Like, he got his like mail from the neighbor, and just like from them like shaking hands, like his whole family got sick. And then he had someone like drive him to the hospital, and that person got sick. Like, literally no one doesn't get sick. And that, I think, is the scary part, because like hospitals are just not like, if it hit the States, it's just like it's gonna overwhelm hospitals. They're gonna have to turn people away. They're gonna have to like make decisions about like who lives. Like, you know, like if you're just like an old person and your chances of survival are really low, they're just gonna have to like turn you away, because there's just gonna be too many patients like that they have to see to. So, you know, and the one thing that is dangerous as well is, so like China is like the best / worst country to get it first. Like, they're the best country to get it first because they don't give a shit about like human rights. So like they can just quarantine and it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're like the worst country to get it first because they're so like fucking secretive, you know?
Yeah.
And so they don't like release the proper data about like what's actually happening and stuff like that. And so like one of the statistics is like, okay, so the old people, right? It's only killing old people. Well, like if you look at the male population in China, like 65% of them are like smokers, which like depletes your immune system. So like most of the death rates in males are from the guys that smoke. But China doesn't have the obesity problem that we do. And obesity, like, it basically affects you like smoking does. Like, it just tears down your immune system and makes you unhealthy. And so I mean, I honestly think if it hits an A, like, it's going to spread like wildfire, because I feel like, you know, fat people will spread it better. Yeah, I know.
It's already, yeah. So here's fun fact. My wife's company has somebody that had the symptoms. Like, so the corona, I'm in St. Louis. And St. Louis got its first confirmed case a couple weeks ago, or like maybe a week ago or something. And so my wife had an employee that wasn't there today that apparently has the symptoms. They won't release what name it is. And they sent everybody home, and they have a cleaning crew coming to sterilize their entire building. And so like my wife was like, everybody I interact with on a daily was there today. So it wasn't one of my people. But she doesn't know. It could be on her floor, the floor above her. They could have touched the same door handles. They could have used the same elevator button. Like, I don't know. And so it's just like, fuck, man. So it's hitting close to home for me. Like, I don't know if that person's confirmed yet, but they're like sent off testing, and it's looking pretty serious. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we deal with this pandemic. Have you seen the movie World War Z?
Yeah.
It's just like World War Z is about to happen. You know what I mean? You know?
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to like stamp on and like quarantine when it's fucking flesh eating, brain eating zombies coming after you than like a flu, basically.
It's just I don't know, man. I just keep thinking of that movie, and it's kind of funny to me. It's like,
crazy.
It's not the system's not funny, but it's just like the pandemic and how it spreads. It's like this is crazy.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse before it gets better. But I'm not here to like fearmonger at all, because I think that people, you know, overreact. But I think that the government's also not doing a good job of preparing. So.
Okay, well, that's this episode of Fluff Hates. He has officially derailed the podcast and brought small politics. It wasn't huge politics.
Not politics. It's like global pandemic politics. Is that really politics?
Yeah. I don't know. Not really. But we also know that you are okay with China quarantining all of their people too.
I'm just saying it's best and worst case for a disease to start. It has nothing to do with the politics.
I see what you're saying. All right, so I'm going to go to my second, because since I didn't do one last week, I'm going to double down this week. ThaPChild loves, man, I love heating pads, dude. Every night. Listen, this is random as fuck. Listen to this. Every night, I bought this heating pad like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. And every night when I go to bed, I turn this little heating pad on.
The fuck was that?
Was that me or you?
That was you.
Fuck if I know. I don't know. I got headphones in. I can't hear
The
anything.
zombies.
Zombies. So I plug this heating pad in and I wrap it around my feet when I go to bed. Oh my god, it's phenomenal.
What? Feet?
It's phenomenal.
That's
disgusting.
disgusting. I have to have my feet like cold. I pull them out of the sheets. I get the open air. Yeah.
You like cold feet?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that explains so much.
Warm feet.
Cold feet explains so much. Yeah, man. So I'm just saying, like, that's it. That's a simple PChild loves. I love my heating pad.
I wonder.
Put it on my feet every night. It feels so good. It's like I tried to sleep without it last night. This is what made me think of it. I tried to go to bed without it because I had like kicked it off on the floor the night before and I didn't pick it up. And I'm laying in bed and I'm comfy and I'm like, damn, dude, I don't have my heating pad. It'd be so good to have it. And I had to make that decision. I was like, are you going to actually get up out of your comfy spot and go get it? And I did. I did.
You're a wild dude, man.
Yep.
I wonder, like, so we know, Corona's like killing elderly people. What if you're like an old soul like you? Does that make you a higher risk?
Maybe. We'll find out, I guess, if my wife has it and I croak, So, oh my God. All right, let's do some Twitter questions.
Yeah.
If you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, we take questions every week. You can submit them in my Discord, Fluff's Discord, or at Twitter. I will post a topic out every week and you can reply to that or just tweet at me. The first question this week comes from Coop. Coop says, what are your goals for season 20?
I mean, my goal.
I just want to have fun. So my goal, this is kind of easy for me because I don't care about leaderboard at all anymore. I used to care. I don't care anymore.
Okay.
My goal is to have fun the first 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of the season, I want season launch night is hype and it's fun, and I want to log in and play with friends and just it's going to be fun. Play with my community and just have a good time. Get the loot. Just try to make it fun and block out the negativity of like, oh, this game's the same and this season theme sucks, and like, because you're gonna get all that stuff, man. Sure. I'm just gonna block it out, have fun with the season, and let it be what it is. If it's fun for a month, cool. If it's fun for 3 days, cool. I'm not gonna try to keep it fun a little longer than it is. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna play it as soon as I'm like, okay, that was good. I'm ready to move on. Then I'll move on. That's my only goal. I'm gonna do the seasonal journey before the season ends, just to get the stuff. I always do. Like this season, I did it. Like the season ended Sunday. I think Friday, I did my seasonal journey to get the stuff. So,
right on.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, my goal, if I played Diablo, I probably wouldn't be playing super long because I'd have Delirium in the back of my head.
Play Diablo, I'm hinting at what he's gonna do.
I would probably, just do my best to walk out on top, pull like an Alkaiser where I just like, I played the game for 2-3 days and I'm rank 1. So I'd be like, still got it. And then you just leave.
Yeah. And walk away. That's not a bad goal.
No.
So let's say this, regardless of what you play.
Yeah.
Are you going to 24?
Probably not. I'll probably just be, because I always do that, right? Like we talked about it before, but
yeah,
like I'll do 24 and I just crash, and then I end up probably less uptime on stream overall because I have fucked up my sleep schedule so hard. So,
yeah, I agree. So, plus you don't want to get corona while you're,
true.
With that immune system on a 24. Whew. Cole Smash says, "Hey guys, I took your advice. I bought my girlfriend an expensive ring, and I asked her to marry me.
All right, now you're just trolling.
No." But she said she needed time to think, and she isn't returning my calls. What do I do?
Are you serious? This is a real question?
I'm serious. This is the guy that was asking us about the wedding ring the other week.
Oh my God.
I don't know if this is real or not. This almost feels like...
This is so stressful.
Okay, so
explain it again one more time.
He says, "Hey guys, I took your advice. I bought my girlfriend an expensive ring. I asked her to marry me, but she said she needed time to think. And now she isn't returning my calls. What should I do?"
This right,
if you're serious,
I'm serious,
like you're serious.
If you're serious, so I think the best play would be to like leave it alone for a bit. Just like let her maybe absorb it. And
my advice is move on. Like, you asked her to marry you. She's not returning your phone calls. I think that's a pretty clear sign. Like, she wasn't ready. You forced her into it. Now she's weird. It's weird. Everything's weird. If she was the one and you knew she was the one and everything worked out, that you're probably good. I think you're probably things aren't probably going well in that relationship. You know, it's hard without having any
context,
details.
right?
Yeah,
Context.
like we don't have any details, but if
I'd say, yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but if you're really loving the person, like they just need some time, maybe. I would say probably put like a window on it. Don't tell her what the window is. Like, oh, you better tell me in like a month or I'm out of here. But just like literally like just lay off. And then if like a month you still don't hear anything, like that's probably like you got a definite fucking no. And then you just totally move on. Like, just don't
my problem is that she needed time to think and now she's not returning your phone calls. That sounds like you got dumped, my dude. You know what I mean? Like if listen, I don't care like how pissed I've ever been at any significant other. If they call me, I'm gonna answer the phone.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I've definitely not done that. Yeah.
So like if you don't call somebody back for a day, like, okay, shame on you. That's rude. If you don't call somebody back for a couple days, like, F you. You know what I mean? Like, that's there are levels of decency, and like if you're with somebody and you love them and you respect them, like, you can pick the phone up. You can still be pissed off, but you can pick the phone up. You can say, listen, I'm mad at you right now. I don't want to talk to you. So I'll call you back in a day and hang up or whatever. But just ghost them for a week or a month or no, man, no way.
All right. That's fair. I mean, but it just depends, I guess, on the situation.
Yeah. So it depends. If she ghosts you for more than a couple days, peace out, dude.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of the other variety. So like, I don't think I would do that where I would be like, okay, I'm not even going to talk to you for like several days. But at the same time, like, I don't know, sometimes you just need to be like left the fuck alone and like
for days.
Left to your own thoughts. Yeah, man. There's some people that are like that. So I guess it just depends on like what kind of person she is, what kind of person you are.
I think there's a thing where you can answer or say, communicate like, hey, listen, I really need some time to think about this. But to not answer, I don't know. That's just disrespectful to me. I don't know.
Different strokes for different folks, man.
I guess so. But yeah, I know that sucks, man. If that's a legit scenario, it sucks, and it looks like you misread the place your relationship was in.
Yeah, well, maybe you have a problem misreading, period, because no one told you to propose. No one told you to get a ring. So maybe you just have a problem with reading people.
Yeah. Itchy says, Fluff, what class did you play in D3 before Necro came out?
I was a bard main for pretty much vanilla to season 4. And then when
Cat said plot twist, Fluff submitted the question.
Yeah. When Wizard got the Manalt heal, I started playing like the Virasha pretty heavily. But yeah, I was bard main. Honestly, it's weird to imagine because it's hard. But it's again, like we played Diablo 2 last week or a couple weeks ago or whatever. It's hard to, as I was playing the Diablo 2, like imagine how much I used to play Diablo 2. And it's hard to imagine, wow, I played a lot of Diablo 3 when the classes like didn't even have Necro. Like, and I can't even like, it's not even fun for me like to play other classes. So it's hard.
Yeah. Let's see. Chad says, what seasonal theme adjustments could D3 implement to keep player retention at an all-time high?
I would rather go ahead.
I think it's they have to unrealistically, they have to implement new end game. There needs to be new activities to do. I don't think it's sets. I don't think it's damage. I don't think it's balance. The problem with D3 is for the last, since Reaper of Souls came out, however long it's been, we've been doing the same shit. We've been doing greater rifts and bounties, and that's it. And so to me, they want to keep me playing the game. I need something else to do in the game that's significant. That's not just like Uber bosses where I fight 2 at the same time. Like, no, it's got to be like a fully fledged out like end game where there's it's replayable,
yeah,
and enjoyable. on top of keeping greater rifts and stuff in there. So there's variety.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously all that. I think that if we're talking about in the realm of possibility, then I think the easiest win, it's not going to be easy per se, but if they did like challenge leagues, basically, so like a 1 week season, just like in the middle of a season, that's like, you know, here's season of Rourke again, and good luck. Like you get 1 week to push. I think that would be a lot more exciting. Obviously, the leaderboard filters as well, I think would be pretty huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're just talking realm of possibility, that's what I would
say. Mini seasons, weekend seasons or something. I think that could be fun. Yeah. You know, hey, we're going to do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever they want to call it, challenge season, challenge league, and have fun. That could be okay. But you know, if they did those maybe once a season, is that still that one weekend's going to be hot, and then the rest of the season's like, okay,
it's better than it is now.
And if you do, yeah, I know. But if you do 2 or 3 a season, then I think that burns it out. Then you're like,
yeah, totally, I agree.
You know, so.
And then you know, you could even do like, you got Blizzard money. If you did a 1 week season and you put a prize behind that, it doesn't even matter if it's like $1,000. It really doesn't. If you put like a prize money behind that and you do like a 1 week season, like that generates so much fucking hype. Or cosmetic,
yeah. Be cosmetics. Like you don't even have to give somebody money.
True.
Just be like, if you make leaderboard, you get a portrait frame. If you make top 100, you get a pet. If you get top 10, you get wings or some shit. You know what I mean? And then people would freak the fuck out. You know, botting would be at an all-time high. You would see 24-hour uptime the entire week.
Sure, but you'd still like, for 1 week, you'd still be able to beat those fucking idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Rastog says, due to the simultaneous launch of both Path of Exile League and Diablo 3 season, will there be a noticeable lack of players in either game? Are they gonna hurt each other? Sure. I think PoE is gonna win. I mean, if I'm being honest, like I think PoE is gonna kick Diablo's ass. It's not even gonna be close.
Yeah.
But the core Diablo guys that love Diablo, they're gonna be there, you know?
Yeah.
And it'll still be going strong, but I don't think you can even. If you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I would have been like, no, Diablo 3 is the ARPG, you know? And then, but now it's like, I think PoE is clear number one. It's got the number one slot. And it's the ARPG to take down at this point. So it'll win.
Yeah. And it does suck for like, you know, those of us that enjoy both. Like we shouldn't be put in this position where we have to choose one or the other. I don't think it's good for either game. Obviously, Diablo stands to lose so much more from lining up with PoE. But PoE's, I mean, there's probably going to be a decent amount of players that are going to play the Diablo season instead, you know. But
yeah,
it doesn't help both games. But I think that if you're asking me who's got to bend a little bit, it's not fucking GGG. It's Diablo 3. 100%.
In all honesty, I think GGG's probably getting some kicks out of it.
True.
They're probably like, what are you guys doing over there? You know, like I gotta think that they're happy about it. Like they're like, this is our time as a studio. We are launching simultaneously with the game that's our direct competitor that the company we used to work for, and now we're gonna beat them statistically. So like that's got to make them feel good.
Yeah.
It sucks though. Regardless, it sucks. It's a lose. It's a lose for everybody. It's a lose for GGG, for Blizzard, and for the player base, because people have to choose. But yeah, I mean, for everybody, there's no winner in this whatsoever, because everybody is losing out on something. Regardless, like PoE is losing out because I was going to play the league when it launched. Had it been staggered 2 or 3 weeks, I would have played PoE League at launch. Is that like hurting PoE? Absolutely not. But it does matter. Like, I mean, there are a lot of me's out there that are like, oh, I probably would have played it, but now I'm going to pick Diablo 3 because that's more of my core game. And just for example, like if you picked PoE over Diablo, then Diablo's losing out. Like, so there are no winners in this scenario.
And I can't help but feel like a line's being drawn in the sand. And so like, I feel if I could choose like one or the other, I don't know. I can't help but feel like, oh, well, like let's definitely not invite that fluffy guy to BlizzCon kind of thing. It feels weird that I even have to choose. I hate being put in this position, honestly.
I I don't know what you're gonna pick yet, but I would say if you choose PoE, I would think any rational person would have to be like, your audience supports you in PoE. You know, I think you've built a pretty nice following over there, and it makes sense as a content creator that you're gonna go where your audience wants you to go. So,
wow, if you don't want to play the season star with me, just fucking say it, dude.
Listen, will you play PoE? I won't have to carry you. Because I know when we battled, I beat you. So I'm just saying,
What?
The season that we leveled against each other, I beat you.
Oh, yeah. True.
It was close, though.
Yeah, it was super close.
It was super.
I was like so fucking far ahead. It was insane. And then I just got like nothing from 50 to 70.
Onion, this is the last. No, we got two. I'm sorry. Demonic Grizz says, Fluff, besides Venom Geyer, what is your favorite build in PoE and why?
Can I say Cobra Lash? No, I'm kidding. Gosh. It's really evolved. Like, I really enjoyed playing Soul Rend during Synthesis, but I don't think that that's a very fun playstyle anymore. Viper Strike was pretty fun when we played it during Blight, but I think that got kind of carried by getting a Spore Guard. I know this is like foreign language, but I mean, Cock Nova was pretty fun.
What did you just say?
Cock Nova. Yeah, it's a thing.
Really?
It's a super popular build. It's cast on crit. So, cock.
Do you play that on your deck?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you have a big deck at your new house.
Yep. And I cast some big cock novas. So,
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The poison builds I always gravitate towards. I think that the Wander that we're thinking for if we play the start of PoE League could be really good. I am super disappointed with the poison damage and weapon change, and that will probably impact us big time. So I don't know. Ask me again.
You're still gonna play your
week.
poison build? Are you still gonna do it?
I mean, honestly, I don't know that. Well, I guess Wasp Nest wouldn't be the end. We'll have to see. We're gonna find out after the stream. We're gonna theorycraft more, but it hurts. It big time fucking hurts, and I just really hate that they did this. But
maybe you should at Bex.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to I'm not in a place to complain. You know what I mean? Like Diablo 3, like I just know inside and out, and PoE I'm like learning still. There's still so much to learn. I'm like literally every day I learn something that's like huge, and I just don't. I don't know. As a creator, like who the fuck am I to even say anything at GGG? Because I've been playing their game for even like hardcore, even more than a year. Whereas PoE or with Diablo 3, it's like, well, you know, I feel like I know a lot, and like when you make a bad decision, like I've got a lot of things to say about it. But I don't know. I guess it's the same, but it just feels different. Because I'm like established as a Diablo 3 person.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Well, it's the same. Like we talk about PoE and all the people that actually play PoE are like, man, PChild, just shut up. Like you don't know what you're talking about. And I don't play it enough. You know what I mean? So I liked the reason, honestly, one of the biggest reasons that I'm interested in playing the game is just for knowledge, to be able to have valid input about other ARPGs.
Yeah.
Because PoE kills it. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, what can I learn from PoE that will help me with Diablo 4? You know?
Yeah.
So. The last question we have for the night comes from Onion. Onion says, should they give items like the furnace more interesting mechanics instead of just flat damage modifiers? That's an obvious yes.
Yeah. That's going to be like a topic coming up, I think, next week, is like ways of ARPGs to kind of amplify your damage without straight up giving you like 500% more damage. Like, what are the ways? And maybe you guys can theorycraft and post in the comment section below. And we've got a list so far, but like Diablo 3 is pretty much like the worst example of ways you can scale damage in an ARPG, because it's just like you do 10,000% more. And that's just like, it makes everything else just terrible and like ruins diversity, and it just feels bad at the end of the day. And so we were, discussing different ways you can scale your damage, whether it's to like damage over time or whatever. Like that's the kind of exciting things that I hope we see more of from Diablo 4, and they really push the boundaries on versus just like more damage.
So I've been playing a lot of Division 2 since the new expansion dropped and they revamped their loot system. And one of the things I noticed that they did was their exotic weapons, which would be like legendaries in Diablo, versus their non-exotic weapons, which would be like yellow weapons. The exotics have typically lower damage output, but they have unique perks to them that make them interesting. And so you're making a choice when you put on an exotic. You're like, am I okay lowering my overall damage output slightly for this interesting playstyle? And an example of that is like they have an exotic SMG that as you move, it gets a damage buff that stacks 4 buffs per second, 8 buffs per second if you run, and every time you shoot, each bullet consumes a stack. So you can stack it up to 40. So basically 40 bullets are max stack. And then the gun does, 80% more damage during those stacks. But when you don't have your stacks, you're significantly less damage than if you just pick the normal yellow weapon. All right. So that one's just a damage modifier, not that interesting. But it's still fun. It's still a fun mechanic because you're constantly having to move to keep the stacks up. And it's a fun place. It drastically alters your play style. So then another exotic is like they call a light machine gun pestilence. And what pestilence does is when you shoot something, it adds 10% of your weapon's total damage to that target, stacking up to 50 times. So basically you can end up doing you can stack a debuff on the enemy, and then when the enemy dies, that debuff will then transfer to another enemy within 25 yards, 25 meters. But you're losing a lot of damage to get that buff. You know what I mean? But so it changes your play style, and that weapon can then automatically kind of transfer damage to other players and stuff. And it again changes your play style and changes your loadout.
Sure.
And so those are both stacking damage mechanics. But I guess the point that it made me think about over the last week, and I related this to ARPGs, I'm like, these are different mechanics because your damage goes down when you equip these weapons, but it drastically changes the way you play the game. And that's cool. And so like for a little bit, I'll run one exotic and I'm like, okay, I'm getting tired of this. Let me switch to a different one. And it's like the same kind of gear, but just that one weapon choice makes a huge playstyle difference. And that's kind of the stuff that I hope to see more of in ARPGs,
Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, I mean, think like, when we look at ways to scale damage in Diablo 4, we see the ancestral and demonic powers, and then we see attack defense on the sheet. And some of the screenshots we've seen things like crit dam, which I think crit damage is probably the worst place to stack. It's almost like just giving flat damage. I don't know. It's worrying to see some of those things return. It's fine if you have like crit damage, cooldown reduction, and you have like 50 other ways you can stack your damage. But like Diablo 3, it's like literally just crit and crit damage. So I just hope that that's a consideration. But again, if you do that, statting and gearing becomes more complicated, and I don't know, because I know they hate making things complicated, but.
And it seems like it's always like, let's hit cap. Got to hit cap.
Yeah.
Get the gear till you hit cooldown cap. Get the gear till you hit resistance cap. Get the gear till you hit.
Or just get the best roll on every slot for that stat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have solutions for it, but I do hope that they make the exotics or the legendary items in Diablo 4. I would rather have it be gameplay altering, style altering than just flat damage. Like, oh shit, my damage. I'm doing the same thing I was doing before.
Right.
My damage is now 10 times more.
Yeah.
Like, how about I'm not doing the same thing I'm doing before? My damage might be equal or slightly more, but it's like more fun. It's different. It's unique, Yeah. So, and then you don't have to have full legendary in every slot to be competitive, and So it changes a lot of things, man. That's it. That is all the questions we had. Man, what a load. We talked POE, Diablo, We talked marriage advice. We talked coronavirus.
Viruses.
Like, damn. Yeah. Wow.
You
Big
guys,
one,
the
boys.
value, guys. The value. Do we have a Patreon page yet? Did you ever do that?
No, but
Okay.
I should really soon.
Mhm.
So
The value
Yeah.
team. Just think about that.
right. Yeah. We're gonna think about some ways to support
The pod.
the meta.
Because it's weird. We're in a weird spot, right? Because like the videos get uploaded to my YouTube. Not that they really, I mean, they don't get that many views, so they don't really generate. But so it's weird. It's weird for us to like think of ways that we could like
Yeah.
support the podcast and not feel like unfair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I hear you. So anyways, we're kicking around some ideas, so hopefully we'll
Yeah.
have some updates for you guys soon on that. And that's it, man. If you guys want to support the podcast, go follow us on Twitter. Seriously. That's like the easiest way.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Mhm.
At ThaPChild, everywhere, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, all the places. If you just search ThaPChild, you'll find me.
Yeah. And I'm Lord_Fluffy. Double those underscores on the Twitter. We'll see you guys next week for episode 91. Peace out, dudes.